Rock and roll Chicago, rock and roll Chicago, my hometown. Well, I was born in the city, gonna rock the city, Chicago. Chicago rock and rollers are the best year ever.
Hey, this is Paul Martin
And Ray the Roadie.
for the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast. How you doing today, Ray?
Paul, I'm a little bit down today.
You are?
Yeah, you know what? Earlier today, I was sitting out by the pool, and I'm just looking in there, and I'm looking at all the stuff that's in there bobbing around, and I suddenly realized that summer's almost done.
I guess we'll have an Indian summer, though. I'm sure we will.
I hope so. Unless it's against the law to call it Indian summer now.
Well, it could be. It could be politically incorrect anyway.
That's right. Native American summer.
So what is bobbing in your pool?
The floaty things. I got all my little toys and stuff. I got the graceful swan that I like to sit on, and it's just bobbing around, waiting for the cover to be put on it probably next month.
Yeah, well, summer is almost done, but we'll still have a few weeks left, I'm sure.
Yeah, we will. So what do we got on tap for this week?
Well, speaking of Bobbing Dunne.
Oh.
Speaking of bobbing and summer being done, we have Bobby Dunne this week.
Hey, look how that worked out. Who would ever thunk?
I know Bobby Dunne, one of the great solo artists in all of the Southlands here in the south side of Chicago.
Yes, he is. He's a legend out here. He's been around a long time. A lot of great stories from him.
Yes, there were, and I'll just let him tell the stories on the podcast. What do you say we get to it right now?
And here we go.
Hey, this is Paul Martin
And Ray the Roadie
for the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast.
Today we're getting together with Chicago's very own Bobby Dunne. How you doing, Bobby?
All right, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Great. Thanks for having us here today.
Yeah.
Got it.
So let's start out. Let's start out in the early Bobby Dunne days. Let's talk about when you got started and where you got started and what you did.
Okay, how I got started was I was a drummer, first of all.
You were?
And I played in a Motown band. Actually, all these guys were older than me.
Uh-huh.
And they were called the Latin Souls.
Oh.
And they were from Garfield, 55th Street. And I was the drummer, and the reason they hired me because I played and sang. So,
okay.
All right. So now I'm playing the drums for them, and then I'm putting my own bands together, and nobody was showing up for practices, and I was the only one enthused about the whole thing. So I said, to hell with this. I'm going to get me a guitar and learn how to play all by myself.
There you go.
So I learned 3 chords.
Uh-huh.
And I heard the Four-Way Street album by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
Right.
It was, and Neil Young did Cowgirl in the Sand, and I says I could do that.
Right.
So I started playing all these Neil Young songs. My uncle Jack thought it was great, so he went out and bought me a PA system, Sure Vocal Master PA system.
Right.
I had an old station wagon.
Pack it all up in there?
I packed it up in there, and I went from tavern to tavern all over the neighborhoods, 47th Street, 55th Street, 63rd Street.
Is that where you're from, Market Park or wherever that area?
No, I'm originally from 51st and Lowell, which is right in front of the yards.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I would go around and say, hey, let me put my tip jar up. If you like me, fine. If you don't, throw me out of here.
Right.
So basically, that's how I got started. And my first gig was at a place called Shag Nasty's on 69th and Pulaski.
I remember that.
As a soloist,
And that was your first paying gig?
Yes, right, where they paid me.
Right.
And then I worked at a place called the Spiderweb on
Now, what
60.
year was this?
What?
What year was this?
Oh, 1975,
Okay.
76 maybe.
Okay.
Gosh, you're asking an old man. Tough question, buddy. Okay, go ahead. Well, anyways,
Yeah.
that's around when it happened, and then I would put bands together, and they'd get one of the guys would get married, and one of the guy's girlfriends didn't like him going and playing.
Yeah.
You guys know
Oh,
the
sure,
drill,
sure,
man.
sure, I know that.
Yeah. So I said, "The hell with this! I'm going to just do solo work for a while and see how I could do it." So,
Yeah.
and I did really well.
Yeah. Yeah, and you've been playing ever since, right?
Ever since, man. Ever since.
Yeah. Now, didn't you do some recording too?
Yeah, I did 3 albums of original material.
3 albums?
Yeah. 3 CDs, anyways.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, when I started traveling, I went to L.A. to try to get some work, right? So I go there, and I became a singing waiter at a place called the Great American Food and Beverage Company, just to pay the bills.
Sure.
So I did that for a while, and then the owner of a place called the Boathouse was in the restaurant, and he heard me, and he wanted to know if I wanted to come down and play on the Santa Monica Pier. So I played there for like 7 years after that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
that was when, in the 80s then? Something?
that was like 81, 82, 83.
Yeah.
That picture was taken in 82, and it was taken by Gino Gonfardi. He was an actor.
Oh, really?
You might have saw him on Three's Company, but him and his wife used to come in and listen to me play. This is the picture, though. This is the actual original picture.
Well, you had the look then, didn't you?
Man, I had everything
You still
going
got the
for
look.
me.
What are you
I
talking about?
had everything going for me, Paul.
I saw you last week, and you were wearing your hat, your nice sun hat there.
Yeah, and I was sitting down because my legs start giving out now.
Well,
I don't mean to interrupt, but this is the
understand.
picture now.
There you go.
And this was a news article that they did on him
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
And if you want to have a couple
That's
of
my
laughs-
wife, by the way.
And wait, I want to tell you something else.
She's
When
always
yous are
sticking
done-
her 2 cents
When
in
you are done,
everything.
you might want to have a laugh. Before Facebook, we used to do crazy stuff like that. For mailing.
Right.
Honey,
And they
we're right
take-
in the middle of the interview. We got recordings going on.
That's okay. That's okay. I love
That's my better half.
That's good. So now you've been playing ever since, and of course now you've done some stuff with Soul Pro Productions and Buddy Monaco, right? You've been involved with them.
Right.
Tell us about your involvement
He
with them.
he makes my CDs.
Oh, okay.
I that way I don't have to buy them in bulk. I buy them like 10 at a time.
Right.
But when I moved to Hawaii, I married a Japanese girl, moved to Hawaii, and I played in Waikiki for like almost 9 years.
Oh, really?
I had a 4-piece band, and I had Jerry Martini from Sly and the Family Stone playing saxophone with me. I had Albert Collins as bass player, Paul Chon on the bass, Bob Zarati from James Brown's band.
Wow.
I had a lineup that was, these guys lived there,
Sure.
and they wanted to gig. So I says, I'll pay you $100 a night.
Right.
I hope they don't find out that I told them about that.
I'm
Jerry will play for $100 a night.
I'm sure they appreciate the work. Right?
Yeah. Oh, they did, and they did that "Fly Me Away" album with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So how long were you in Hawaii then?
for 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I came back here in like 96, 97.
Oh, okay.
And then I've been back here for 20 years now.
So tell us a little bit about your you said Buddy helps you with the press of CDs and everything, right?
Yeah.
But now you've also been involved with Buddy for quite a while.
Oh yeah, he's one of my number one friends.
Right.
And fan. I do sometimes I'll go and do his blue reviews.
Right.
Where I'll warm up. I'll start the show out and do a solo.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah, but I've known Buddy for years. Are you going to interview him? He's a great guy.
Well, I'd love to get all of those.
Yeah.
I see Buddy. Buddy's come out to quite a few of my shows.
Okay.
And I talk to him periodically, but I haven't seen him in a while. So, but we will definitely be in touch with him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Buddy be a great interview.
Yeah. If you need his info, I got it all.
Yeah. So I appreciate the cheese and crackers here. This is very nice.
Very tasty.
She's accommodating.
Tell me a little bit about what you do now. I mean, I know I worked with you at the Blue Chip, and that's where we met, really.
Right.
But I told you who I was, and played with the noodles, and right away you went, "Oh yeah!" So, but now you were playing with some different players back then than you are now, or is it just whoever's available?
Bingo.
Is it?
Bingo. Yeah. I make sure I get the best of the best.
Right.
I've got 4 guitar players,
Right.
4 bass players, 3 drummers, and who's ever available, I get them.
Right.
And they're all playing with other bands. So, do you want to know who some of them are playing with?
Sure.
Yeah, Roy DeGangi, he's playing with Sundance.
Now, is that who's playing bass?
Bass player. No. Terry Rollins is my bass player, and he plays with the Beach Bum Band. He played with Jimmy. He backed up Jimmy Buffett when those Cheeseburger in Paradises opened up.
Right.
He plays all over the place. I just got him started doing solo work, so he's having a blast with that too. But I have a drummer named Brian Abraham from the North Side. He's a drum teacher, and he plays in those show bands, those 5 different bands, and they travel all over the place, and they do all the top 40, they have simulated music, and and he plays in one of those bands.
Okay.
And guitar players, got Dale Vargas, he plays in Caliente.
Now, Dale Vargas was the guy that I remember.
He plays guitar for me.
Yeah, great guitar player.
40-some years he's been playing with me on and off.
Yeah.
And I got a guy named Mitch Marcus that plays with me now.
Yeah. Mitch is a character.
Yeah.
Mitch is very animated, but he's a great player.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. The bass player I had Saturday, that's the first time I ever met him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he took the gig because all my bass players were busy.
Right.
So that's how I do a whole band.
Right.
But most of the time it's just me and a guitar player.
Right. And where are you playing?
What, like this coming week?
Well, yeah.
This coming week.
Next few weeks.
Playing Friday at the Irish Legend in Willow Springs from 8 to 11. And then Saturday at Cousins in Tinley Park on 177th and Oak Park.
Yeah.
So, and I work with Joey DeMarco too. He's the one that gets me the Blue Chip, and you don't get in without him.
Right.
Yeah.
Joey's a great guy.
I love Joey.
Yeah.
I had so many fights with him. He fired me so many times, and then I wrote him a love letter, and then he took me back. I've been getting a lot of gigs where it's me and the guitar player.
Oh, okay.
Because I do all the singing.
Right.
And I need a break.
Oh, I see.
In the middle of the songs,
Sure.
Hey, all right, keep going, so I can catch my breath.
Now, Mitch mentioned the other night that he was going to do a gig with you, right?
Yeah, we went and did a gig right after that show.
Right. Now, does he play acoustic then, or does he play?
No, he plays guitar.
Plays electric guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so versatile, man.
Yeah.
We've got Charlie Piper playing bass with me on Friday.
Is that right?
Yeah, him and
No
Mitch
kidding.
and Mitch are going to be playing with me.
No kidding.
So sometimes I do a 3-piece and then I use a drum machine.
Right.
Don't tell the drummers that.
It's only when they're not available.
Right. Or when I can't afford them.
Yeah. Well, no, well, tell Charlie Piper first of all I said hello. You know.
I will.
You know, I haven't seen Chucky Piper in
It's
a
a
long time.
sweetheart.
Yeah. Or Charlie Piper, I guess.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard hide nor hear from him in a long time.
He's great.
Yeah, he was a great guitar player.
When I can't get Mitch, I get him. And he says, by the way, Bob, I play bass.
Oh, okay.
So I couldn't get my regular guys to play this Friday, so he's going to play.
So what kind of music are you doing mostly?
I'm doing classic rock and roll, 5 decades, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. I know 1,000 songs.
Yeah.
We don't rehearse.
Right.
They show up, and they're lucky if they get the key from me.
What keys is with it?
Or they'll say, what song are you going to do next? I said, why do you want to take all the fun out of this? You know? So we go there, and that's the only rule in the band is have fun. You know, you're coming here, I'm not paying you for what you're going to learn. I'm going to pay you for what you know already. You know?
Right.
And they do. And, you know, Paul, most of the stuff that I do, they grew up with it.
Right.
You know, like I did Last Kiss over at the fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, some of those guys grew up with that music, so it's like they know what it sounds like, you know.
Right.
So it's easy for them.
So tell me about some of your original stuff, though.
Oh, man, I wrote a lot of great songs. Well, Shady Lady, I wrote that about Conley's.
She's where I wanna be. Shady lady, she's where all my people be.
Conley's was the Shady Lady before it became Conley's, you know.
Oh, really?
And it's about how all these people used to come to hear me play, you know. And after you hear the song, you'll know what I'm talking about, because it's like I'm having so much fun at the Shady Lady. That's where I want to be, you know. And then I got a song on there called Chicago. And it's about when I was in L.A., I was kind of missing my hometown, so I wrote a song about it, you know.
There's a place far away from the town called L.A. where I used to sing my song. And everyone I meet smile at me so sweet and say, where are you from? Chicago, where are you? Chicago, I'm feeling blue. Chicago, I'll make it home to you. I'll make it home.
And then in Hawaii, there's a song.
That might work well with our podcast, you know, Chicago.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, great song. Lots of horns in it.
Oh, okay.
You'll love it. You'll love it. Just listen to them and pick out whatever you want,
Right,
you know.
right. And you said in Hawaii, you said about Hawaii?
I wrote a song called Fly Me Away. It was right after I got a divorce in Hawaii, and it was how I was feeling at the time, you know.
Right.
I told her, don't you remember when we used to make love and we were in love with each other? This is how I feel. Fly me away, fly me away.
No, I know you wrote. I remember you doing a song that you wrote about your wife. Now,
She's My Wife. It's in there.
yeah,
Oh, that's a kick-ass song.
that's a great. I remember you several times playing that. At the
Everybody loves that song. It's a great song. I tried to shop it, but I didn't try hard enough. You know, I was like, "Hey, man, I'm getting old. I don't want to be a rock star. I just want to play music." You
Right.
know?
Right.
That's basically what it is. I'm happy just doing that.
Right. As long as you're happy, you know.
You know what they say? A musician without a wife or a girlfriend. You know what they call them?
No.
Homeless.
It's uninsured.
Uninsured. Yeah, right. My lovely wife worked for the railroad, so I get half of her pension.
No, that's
Social Security. And thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Yeah.
And no matter how old you are, as long as you enjoy what you're doing.
Oh, I
that's
love
worth it.
what I'm doing, you know, and I get to keep all that money. She lets me keep all that money. She lets me do a lot of things.
Also, you had to buy the cheese and crackers.
Yeah, I had. Yeah, this is my budget, guys.
This is the St. Gerald's payday.
Oh no, that was a good payday. I like that one.
Yeah, that was the last minute, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's why I had to get that bass player that I didn't know. Mitch says, "Hey, I got a guy that's got radar, man. He'll show up and he'll play anything you throw at him."
Right.
So that's what we did.
Yeah, Mitch is quite animated.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah. Now, how did you link up with him?
Oh, this is a great story. Me and Dale were playing at the Snuggery down in Union Station. And he's changing trains. He was working for some place down there. He comes up in a suit. I mean, looking like Drew Carey, you know.
Right.
And he's listening to us, and he's smiling, and he came over and on our break, and he says, "Hey, I play guitar. You mind if I sit in?" You know. And I looked at Dale, and I said, "Hey, man, even if he's bad, it'll be entertainment." You know? But he got up and played, and Dale let him use his guitar, and I fell in love right there, and he played with gig after gig after gig, you know, the ones Dale couldn't make. But Dale don't drive because he's legally blind, so it's hard for him to get to some of the gigs,
Right.
you know.
Right. Well, I met Mitch first time when he came in. I was running sound at the Blue Chip, and he came in with a band called the Associates. Big Steve, a bass player, and I loved him then. Right off the bat, I said, "This guy's crazy."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a great guitar, good showman too.
Oh yeah.
He'll jump up on a chair and start playing in the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. And you had Bo with you.
Oh
playing
yeah,
drum.
yeah, from Shortcuts. Yeah,
Shortcuts, right?
Yeah, well, he plays with me at least twice a year. You know, I'm doing another RV
Whether
thing.
he likes it or not, huh?
Yeah, right. But he's a blast, man. He is just so easy to work with.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So, anyways, he's playing an RV thing with me in Goshen, Indiana, next month, and on the 14th of next month.
So you keep him pretty busy. How often are you playing? Every weekend?
Almost every weekend.
Really?
At least 3-4 times a month. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll take off for a couple, a Friday and Saturday. But, if I could work, I'll work.
Right.
So
Right.
I just love doing it, and I'm going to do it as long as I can.
And I see you're still playing that same blue guitar.
The what?
The same blue guitar, right?
I've had that. I bought that off of Gino
Oh, really?
from Players.
Yeah.
I bought that off of him. He sold me 2 of those guitars, a black one and a blue one, for $600, and they go for $600 a piece.
Wow. Yeah.
So I took advantage of that, baby.
What kind of guitar is that?
It's a Samick.
Samick.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're pretty popular now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I remember you coming in with the blue chip with the blue guitar, and I saw it the other day, and I said, I recognize the guitar, and I said, is that Bobby playing up there?
Yeah. Oh, you knew me through my guitar.
I knew you through your guitar, yeah.
I'm probably the only one the only one that has that guitar. I jammed with Stevie Starlight one night, and he goes, "What the hell is that?" I said, "It's my guitar."
Yeah.
He said, "Where'd you get it at? Toys R Us?"
Yeah.
Stevie.
Oh, yeah. I saw Stevie at a club. This is several years ago, but I walked in and I heard about 20 minutes of his set. He come off on a break, and he says, "Paul, come on, let's go have a shot." And I said, "I'm kind of disappointed in your show tonight." And he says, "Why?" And I said, "Because you haven't called me any names yet. I've been here 20 minutes. You haven't called me one name yet."
Yeah, I'm a little worried about you.
Yeah, so I went back up and he said, "That son of a bitch, Paul Martin's here." Yeah.
So when you got back in 05, was it from Hawaii?
No, I got back in 97.
Oh, 97.
97.
How long did it take you to get back into the Chicago jobs?
A week.
Job scene. Oh, did you?
A week,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, well, I put the word out, and all these older clubs that I used to play,
Okay.
they called me right away and said, "Hey, come on in and play."
Okay, that's great.
So that's what I did, It was good having that reputation because even now I don't have to really go out and look for work.
Right.
I get a lot of calls all the time, a lot of private parties, backyard parties, living room parties, that kind of stuff. I'll go and sit in somebody's living room and play 100 songs if I want, and they pay me $500.
Right.
Yeah,
you can't beat that.
Cash is king, baby.
We'll cut that out.
Yeah, it's a good thing you're going to edit this.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyways, yeah, that's basically what happened. And when I got back to, I had some bumps in the road, but we're not going to talk about those, But
because you were gone for a little while. You were gone for a while from L.A. and then Hawaii.
I went from L.A. to San Francisco, from San Francisco to Hawaii.
Right.
Yeah.
So then coming back,
I've been married 5 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Things change.
Hostages. We're all hostages.
Where are the bodies buried?
Hey, some of them still talk to me.
No.
I know every time a girl walks up to the stage for a request, I say, how much do I owe you for child support? You don't want child support, do you? Yeah, I've been playing close. I just counted 45 years of just playing music.
Wow.
And when I was 18 years old, I was a Chicago Tribune driver. My father was a big shot with the Wall Street Journal, so he hooked me up with the newspapers right away. And it was unheard of a kid that age driving a newspaper truck.
Right.
But he pulled a few strings for me.
Sure.
So
I wanted to ask you a little bit about what you've done for the community, and I know you've done some halfway houses, some rehab houses, or whatever, right? So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah,
What got you started in doing that?
My alcohol bone and my cocaine bone
Right.
are connected somehow.
Right.
And it became a problem for me,
Right.
So I had to do something, checked into a rehab and got myself straight. And I figured the best way for me to stay straight is to help new people.
Right.
So I went to Blue Island and I rented a 2-story building, and then I got another one in Hazel Crest. And I had 2 houses in Blue Island and 1 house in Hazel Crest, and I would house like 6 to 10 guys. and they'd have to stay sober. They were halfway houses,
Right.
But after 10 years of doing that, it got to be a problem because I was waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, going over there. It's either a fight or they got crack pipes under the beds.
Right.
And, it was just getting out of hand for me,
Right.
So, but yeah, I did that for 10 years and ended up saying I'm still sober today.
God bless you.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah, you were doing that when I saw you at Blue Chip.
Right.
It wasn't that too many years ago, 5 or 6 years ago.
Right.
When did you give it up?
About 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
About 2 years, 2 or maybe 3 years. I'm not sure. The years go by so fast, Paul.
I know that. I know
It's like I can't remember, too much about all of that. All I know, and I still go to meetings every day.
Wow.
I go to AA meetings, and you know what? I think I've met maybe 10 of the guys that were in my houses, and that's out of like maybe 350 guys that got their life back together. And I figured this way: if I got one of those guys,
Absolutely.
Exactly.
if I got
Absolutely.
one of them back, back on track, I did my job.
Right. Right. It was all worth it then.
It was well worth it.
Now, were you sanctioned by the state or anything? Or
No. I could have been.
Yeah.
But I wanted to keep it private because once you get involved with the state, then they get involved and then they start telling you what to do.
Right.
And you gotta dot your I's and cross your T's.
How did you find guys that were coming out of rehab or whatever?
I just went to the meetings, put up flyers, saying, looking for a sober living, we were calling them.
Okay.
Actually, I had this when we were living over there. This was a sober living.
A sober living.
Yeah, well, it was real nice for those guys too. But I would put guys in here that had some time under their belt.
Right.
And I even had problems with that too.
Sure.
Yeah, the wife came over one time and hit some guy over the head with some. But it's all good. I did what I was supposed to do, and I stayed sober through the whole thing too.
Right.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
So, and that's when I really started having a good time playing music. It was when I cleaned my act up.
Your wife Joanne was very helpful, I'm sure, through all this too.
Oh yeah, until I opened a girl. I opened a girl's house, and she was going to help me. She helped me for a whole month, and then she says, "I can't deal with these girls. They were all hoodlums.
Yeah.
So she backed out, and then I was left with all these girls, and they weren't paying the rent, and they were playing me like a piano. So
Yeah.
I just closed that girl's house down and sold it to another lady. There was no money in it.
Oh no.
It was like the ones that did pay their rent there. It was just like a cash flow. I was just be able to pay the bills.
Right.
Never had any extra money at the end of the month.
Right.
And that was it.
Yeah. That's a great thing you did.
Yeah,
That's
you
great.
did something good for a lot of
It
people.
felt good to know that some of them actually stayed sober because I still see them.
Sure.
I see them at the meetings and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. My brother's
Great
got one of the
contribution.
biggest rehabs on the south side on 138th and Western in Blue Island. Him and his whole board of trustees own Mother of Sorrow's church, school,
Sure.
and everything.
Oh,
Yeah, they house them, they feed them, and they get them a job. They bus them to the job and bus them back.
Really?
I swear to God, I'm supposed to play there tomorrow night.
They put apartments in there? Or
No, they took all the classrooms and made them dormitories.
Right.
Not only that, they got a little store in there for them to buy their, little munchies and whatever, like a little miniature 7-Eleven.
Sure.
And they also have a couple of doctors that come in there voluntarily twice a month to give them checkups and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
You ought to go over and see that place. I'm telling you, it's amazing.
I remember playing there not all that long ago. I mean, in the last 14 years.
Right. Well, he's only been open maybe 10, 12 years.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's like he'll call me to play, and then he'll call my brother Mark as a DJ.
Oh, okay.
He was doing all the DJ work over there.
Well, I was going to ask you if you had anybody else in your family who's musically inclined.
He just does DJ. You know who was a great singer? My uncle, Jimmy Ford. He sang for the Lawrence Welk Band and Tommy and Jimmy Dorsey.
Really?
He was a crooner, man. He had the most beautiful voice. My mom told me. He died when I was like maybe 10 years old.
Right.
But my mom said she was coming down to... She worked for the electric company at the time. She was coming down the escalator. She hears this beautiful voice, and she goes down there, and it's her brother Jimmy. You know?
Wow.
Yeah. So he was the only one that really had the talent in the family, you know. But I'll tell you, Paul, when I was in Hawaii, I got to jam with Zach Wilde, Greg Allman.
Wow.
All these guys would come there on vacation, and we were like the house band in the middle of Waikiki.
Wow.
You know, so they'd come into the bar. The whole road crew from the Grateful Dead, all those guys are great musicians, man. They came up and jammed with us, you know.
Wow.
The guy who played R2-D2, the guy that was in that thing, he played a mean harmonica, man. He came up and played with us. Oh, yeah.
Who'd have thunk it? Yeah.
Well.
So how do people find out where you're playing? Or
They usually get me through my hotline number,
Okay.
or my wife will put it on Facebook.
Right.
You know, and they come out that way. That's how I got as many people as that were there Saturday.
Right.
She put it on the Facebook page. And,
Right. Now, Facebook's amazing for that. You know,
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So you don't have a Bobby Dunne page, right?
Well, I had one, but I started boosting my post, and they sent me a bill for $160 or something like that. So I paid that, and then I got rid of the Facebook page. But they usually call this hotline number.
Okay. Right.
What's that number, Paul?
It's 708-267-3339.
Is there a website? Do you have a website?
No.
267-3339.
You know what? I'm on the SoProMusic.com.
All right.
I'm on that. I'm one of the artists that he handles.
Oh, okay.
You know, so if you put in SoProMusic.com and then say Bobby and then put my name in there, it'll go right to a page for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
It's a link.
Your music, is it available anywhere or just at the shows?
Yeah, it's
or-
available on Buddy Monaco's on that website.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so broken.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he will mail it to you or whatever you pick out, and he's got samples of all the music on there too.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's good. I'm not computer savvy, so I don't get into all that stuff, you know.
Right.
But he can handle that. That's why he handles it for me, you know.
Right.
Makes my copies, and
Well, it's been great talking with you.
it's been good talking to you too.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for having us out and sitting and chatting and giving us water and some
Grapes, some cheese.
cheesy crackers.
That's my wife. My wife did all of that.
Drink it all?
No,
My
no.
husband doesn't, but if I have some rum, if you want to.
No,
We're good. We're
Or
good.
something.
No, thank you.
So, honey, they asked some really great questions here.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
I wanted to get.
That's the love of my life in the kitchen. By the way.
Well, Bobby and Joanne, we thank you very much
Thank you very
for
much.
letting us into your house.
Dear Lord in heaven, I want you to know
Well, Ray, that was some stories that Bobby had, wasn't it?
I'm telling you, that was really something. I thought I kind of knew him, but I guess I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't realize that he left Chicago for such a long time and played in L.A. and Santa Monica and San Francisco and
Hawaii.
Hawaii, yes.
You know, he spent a long time away. I mean, I knew we didn't see him anymore. I just thought maybe he hung it up, but nope, he's still out there. He's still entertaining the masses.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And him and Joanne, his wife, were great hosts.
Yes, they were. We had a really nice little snack tray that she set up for us, and whatever those drinks were that she made up were mighty tasty.
Yes, she did. She made up a couple of cocktails for us there at the end.
Yeah.
That kind of hit the spot.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. It was a lot of fun. So hopefully people will be out and about checking Bobby out. He's still playing. He's still out there, hitting a bunch of venues. You just got to go look him up online, check his Facebook page. Well, he's got the number you can call.
You get the hotline number, right?
Right.
708-267-3339 to find out where Bobby Dunne will be playing. Check him out. He's a fun guy.
It definitely is. And don't forget to check us out on the Road to Rock Radio, roadtorockradio.net. We're featured every Monday night at 6 p.m. They're replaying some of our past podcasts. Make sure you check them out. Make sure you check out the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66. Check out their webpage. Check out their Facebook page. They're just chugging along there trying to get that place opened up for you next year.
Yeah, I see they just added Bob Surratt and Jim Peterick.
Right, to the advisory board, yeah.
The advisory board. So that's a great addition to the museum there.
Definitely. Hopefully that'll help them out immensely.
All right, Ray. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Be sure and share. And like Ray said, be sure and share our podcast. Check them out. And we'll see you next week with another edition of the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast.
You sure will. I'm going back in the pool. See you next week.
Bye.
Rock and